Thanks. Hello, everyone, creatives, creative people, powerhouses. It's just a privilege to be amongst all of you. Like really, I've been just scrolling the screens, getting present to each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Like really, each one of you listening is making this session and the whole summit so rich. So the thing is, we are talking about light and darkness, and these are feelings all of us have experienced at some point of time or the other, right? Feeling overwhelmed, feeling burnt out, struggling to find the time and energy to pursue your artistic goals. I just want you to get that you are not alone. And in this panel, we are here to tell you that you have come to the right place. So just a bit about me, like beneath every step I've personally taken in my professional journey, as Avni was sharing, like from a marine engineer to, overseeing a fleet of oil tanker ships, very, very techy, non-creative, what others may think, like non-creative roles, right? Total engineering down spreadsheets and stuff. There has always been an unyielding urge to be creative and express my artistic spirit. Like no matter the magnitude of my responsibilities, I found ways, both like big and small. And again, as Avni was mentioning, like really being the frontman of one of the biggest heavy metal bands in India in the 90s, when nobody knew the word heavy metal in India properly, to starting up my own record label, creating a recording studio, all sorts of things. To small performances. You can see my painting behind me, so I also paint, to pursuing my art and stuff. I did find ways to stay connected to my creativity. But the biggest discovery for me and the most profound realization of my life came when I understood that the highest level of creativity is when we create life itself. Right. And it was in that moment that I took on my mission, a purpose that would guide me in my every endeavor. My mission is to stand for every person living a created life, where they have the power to determine how their life unfolds, rather than being dictated by their circumstances. And today, as an entrepreneur managing diverse businesses, I'm driven by this mission. And the Landmark Forum really, and I know a lot of people here are Landmark Forum graduates and some of you are not, in which case I would say, do it. Don't waste any time. Everyone must do the Landmark Forum. So the forum has played a pivotal role in shaping my perspective, like really propelling me into exciting ventures. And beyond all the glamour and applause, I think it's really the joy of connecting with people, witnessing their empowerment and inspiring them to live a life on their own terms that truly fuels my passion. So that's why I'm really thrilled to be here in the 80/20 Artist Breakthrough Summit along with all of you. So that's a bit about me and some context into what we are going to talk about in this session. I'd like to hand over to Jimmy to give us a brief introduction about himself, and then Jeroen. Jimmy, over to you.
Everybody, my name's Jimmy. Like Avni mentioned, for me, this entire journey has been about feelings. It was mentioned in the earlier talks that you have to learn to feel your feelings. And for me, that was something I could never do. I spent my entire life running from those feelings, self-medicating to not feel those feelings, and to ultimately making everything worse. When I was little, my parents split when I was a baby, and I lived with my mother. And when I was about 4, my dad came and took custody of me, and I hated him my entire life. I felt like, he took everything I had away from me, and I didn't understand. As my life went on, though, I started turning into that very thing that he was protecting me from. and with 5 kids, the journey, the opportunity was great, to have a wonderful life, but I didn't do that, and I dragged them through that, led me to a very dark place. About 3 years ago, I attempted to take my life, and it was at that moment that it didn't work, that things got really scary, because I knew I couldn't continue to live like I was living, and I didn't want to live, but I decided that I couldn't die, and I had a purpose, and that's kind of when I discovered art. And for me, art was an outlet. It started off as self-discovery, because I was able to put onto canvas what I was feeling, but that I could not put into words. And so I started diving deeper into art. And as I started that journey, I was doing markets, and instead of selling my art, I was letting people create art with me. And that's where I saw that joy. Almost every single person that was doing something with me made something, and they were happy, and it, it brought me a sense of fulfillment. And since then, I've been blessed with opportunities. I'm currently at a gallery. I'm in the process of starting my own business, and that business is literally creating art with people. It's not about me making money selling art. It's about me facilitating that experience so that people can get involved. And so I'll stop there, and we'll dig deeper later, but pass it
Thank you,
on.
Jimmy. Really, thank you for being here and part of this panel. Jeroen.
Yeah, I was just listening to Jimmy, and all of it sounds very familiar. Well, not all of it, but like the feeling of it all. I must say I was maybe an early adopter. I was on a pretty dark path of very self-centered, self-medicating, yeah, doing drugs, drinking, all that stuff, and basically the way I see it is I use people not to sleep, but my interactions, my relationships were basically, now that I've grown up, well, kind of a little bit, and I look back on it, all those relationships were in function of me satisfying my needs, to hang out, to have fun, other needs. So yeah, I was on that road, the I guess egocentric, which can only lead to misery. Until when I was 21, I fell down a balcony, like Abney said, and wound up in a coma. And I was rather arrogant. I got away with a lot of stuff. So when I came by from the coma, I was like, okay, yeah, rehab. Okay, give me a month, maybe 2, and I'll be good to go. Now, a brain trauma does not work that way. That's for, oh, I don't know if y'all can see me. Can y'all see me? Okay, great.
The voice breaking up for some people. Yeah.
The voice is breaking up, Jeroen.
Yeah, stuff started freezing here all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I guess it got a little intense for the system. So anyway, that's not how a brain trauma works. So I thought, yeah, give me a few months and I'll be good to go. But I was literally a vegetable. I couldn't walk, couldn't talk, I couldn't even sit up straight. I was dead weight. And you know how they say diamonds are formed under pressure, all that stuff. I discovered stuff about myself. You know, like in meditation, they talk about peeling off the layers. Well, there was nothing left. If you ask yourself the question, who am I? And you make a list of everything. Yeah, scrap all that. I couldn't do anything anymore. network disappeared, everything disappeared. So I was confronted. So if all that is not me, as I always thought it was, then who am I? And who the hell is that person I've been being all my life? And I guess I forcibly broke the habit of being who I never was. And that opened up a whole new world to me. And yeah, thus began the process of building a life, as they call it. And yeah, I wouldn't want to trade it for anything in the world, even included the overwhelm, the fatigue, all that stuff, which comes with a brain injury. Yeah, and so now my mission is to show people, or at least give them a of how what we think we are isn't even scratching the surface. It's like saying I'm a pencil, while in reality you are the Amazon rainforest. Yeah,
It's
that's
amazing
my
how it
life's
went
mission.
quiet in that moment where everyone is thinking, what really am I? Great, Jeroen. Go on, carry on. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
So yeah, that was it. That's my goal in life, to bring that present for as I can. And I love working with young people in the process. But schools are hard to work with. They're kind of
Awesome.
oftentimes not all my thing. Yeah.
Great, Jeroen. Thank you. Right. It's so exciting to be with both of you guys. Who really is like me, so excited to find out the whole story and how they turned everything around and came out of this, right? Quick show of hands. Who's like into this conversation right now? Awesome. Amazing. Like together with Jimmy and Jeroen, now we will delve into like the different strategies, the mindset shifts, and actionable advice that will help you reclaim your time, energy, voice. Okay, so let's get going straight away. So let's see, who wants to answer this question? Like what, Jeroen, let's go to you. What is the biggest roadblock in a creative's world, a creative's person world? What do you think?
Well, I think the biggest roadblock in not just creatives, in everybody's world is I don't like the term self-love, because I think love is not unique or specific to one object. I think love is you are love, period. And depending on fear, hatred, whatever there is, you block that light. So imagine you're a sun. If you drape a curtain around you, there's less light will shine through. But we need to kind of cover ourselves in public. So that's the thing. But I look at it as not hating yourself, because people won't say that very easily, but we kind of hate ourselves. Like we're yeah, many of us. And so for me, my I guess darkest hour, when I was starting to realize the pickle I got myself into, I looked, yeah, oh, I froze again. So the when I realized what was really up, and that I wasn't going to be that person, that wasn't me, and I wondered, so who the hell am I? And I didn't really have an answer. Still don't, but okay. I said, well, the thing is, if I move the stories about me, so that fictional character, and look at what's left, I'm a good guy. So it's really simple like that. And I'd never really accepted that or said that about myself, because I did some pretty sketchy stuff in my short-lived career as a loose cannon. And so I said, I'm a good guy, and that was for me the start of everything.
Yeah.
Just being able to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm like they say in the shampoo commercial, I'm worth it. I'm good. Like,
That's the thing about the dark periods, isn't it? It's like in that moment, you're so at a loss of even the words to find to say, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm worth it. Like all those words just disappear. What's there is darkness. There's nothing. You don't have words, you don't have thoughts, feelings, like all of that is totally in the dip. So with that, actually, I wanted to share this visual that you may have seen before. Let me see if I can share my screen. Could you enable screen sharing for me, Avni?
Get back. Get back.
No, still says disabled. Are we still dealing with the... Anyway, don't worry. We'll manage without that. It's a typical curve of, when we are starting anything and we go along in time, something happen, and then we start our performance or our energy, or just enthusiasm for being alive kind of starts dipping. And this could be with any project, anything that you take on. On a scale of 1 to 10, we'll probably start off at an 8 and kind of gauge and then go really enthusiastic about this. Yeah, come on, let's do it. And then slowly all the energy starts to wind down as reality hits. And then we start going down. And sometimes we will recover and come up, but a lot of times it will go down and hit like a pit. And in that moment, really, we are not seeing anything further to that pit. All we can see is like really the darkest, deepest moment, and there's no coming out of this pit. There is this wall that we've hit, and that's it. I may have...
Rajesh, you're host now, so if you want to share it, you can now.
Okay, yep, I can see that. So let's... Okay, perfect. Can you see that now? Yeah, so that's the pit I was talking about. We start off and then we hit this pit and we are in this valley of despair. And then let's kind of discover what are the thoughts, feelings that come to us when we are in this darkness, this valley of despair. It's pretty much free flow. You can chat, put it in the chat. And Jimmy, I'd like you to talk about it by the time people are putting things in the chat. What are the thoughts and feelings that come to you when you're in your dip?
So I think Jeroen hit it right on the head. The biggest driver for me in that point is fear. It's, am I good enough? And are you going to like me? Everything was driven by fear because I also was selfish and I wanted everything my way. And when you get down to that point where the fear has completely taken over, yeah, somebody put hopeless. It's that. The last year before this journey started, I lived with a loneliness that most people can't imagine. And what got me out of that was I was gifted desperation. And at that point, I was able to start changing how I thought about life, how I thought about things, how I thought about people, how I perceived things, and accept that that the world is what the world is. People are who they are, and I can't change that. And so all I have control over is my feelings, my emotions, and how I react. And once that transition started to happen, I was able to start digging my way back out of that hole.
Absolutely. So bang, I'm just reading out some of the stuff that everyone has written. I can't do it, can't see a way forward, never be good enough, nothing, hopeless, it's not meant to be. Should I waste even more time on this? And so on and on and on, right? Can you see anything in there that's like inspirational, entrepreneurial way of thinking that will inspire you to come out of it? No. It's kind of, we get there and we start digging the hole even further. This isn't aligned. We even start questioning our purpose. Really? Is this what I wanted to do? Let me get out of it. Get out of here, start something new. So what I want to really bring here is that that's not it. The thing with future, everyone, is that we can't see it. When you look back, yeah, there's plenty of dots to connect. You can see everything, how things happen, why they happen, give you thousands of reasons and logic on why things happen. But going forward, there is nothing to see because it hasn't happened. And it's for us to create. And that's why it starts looking like a block, because there's nothing ahead. What we seem to miss is that we are the ones who are going to create the future. And everything that I'm saying or doing or any action I'm taking right now is the one that's creating my immediate future. And the good news, everyone, is that this is normal. It's not just you. We start feeling like, oh, why did it happen to me? I'm the one, I'm always in this rut. No, this is normal. This is just a part of being human. Every human being goes through this cycle in everything they take on. Just look back at your life. I can have all of you share, and you will start hearing the stories where everyone has gone through this dip. And some have exited in the dip, or some have come out, or whatever, however you manage your dips. But everyone goes through a dip, and there is a way out always. So once you have that as a constant, that this is going to happen, you stop resisting it. In fact, you can actually acknowledge it and start celebrating it. Yes, I'm in the dip. Come on, this is the lowest point. I'm now going to go up. It's a conversation, everyone. I'm in darkness is a conversation. Oh, I'm on my way up. It's a conversation. It's all that we are saying to ourselves. So with that, let's start and explore a bit more about the conversation we are about, the darkness and the light, like what different conversations. I know Jimmy and Jeroen, both of you touched on it, like that started to turn things around for you. Like Jeroen, you were saying, oh, I looked in the mirror and I said, you are worth it. Like just, I could cut out all the stuff that was there clouding me getting connected to who I am and just getting, wow, I am worth it. And that turned it around for you. But tell us a little bit more, Jeroen. We are excited to hear you.
Sorry, got it. So yeah, there's, like you said, the getting excited about the challenge, I guess, is a big part of it. And I'm thinking out loud here that excitement could very well be a, like you said, a different conversation you have based on the fear. Like you can have a scary something in front of you. You can back away from it, or you can engage with it. And maybe that's it. And the emotional or the physical response is the same. It's just that which way are you going to go, forward or backward? And my dad told me once, we're people of crisis, like crisis people. That's when we perform. maybe that's a cop out for all the crises he's created in his life. I don't know, might be, but it is, yeah. I think it's also related with the ADHD type personality that you need this adrenaline hit to get creative or get moving. For example, right now, while I'm supposed to be here, is when I'm getting ideas for a project I'm working on. Because I don't have time.
Yeah.
Gives me an extra jolt, and I realize that's not very professional looking, but hey, that's how it is. So anyway, it's gonna glitch again. So I was in rehab, and it's sort of like I switched my intent around, from being pissed off. They're keeping me here. They took my driver's license, and I just want to get back to my old life or whatever that was. To okay, so this is the challenge I'm in front of. So this is the mountain I have to climb. So I can either stay pissed off and just make myself smaller, like I've been doing for many years before, or I can take this seriously for a change and just go at it and find out where I wind up. Now that is a scary option, because the first
Whoops.
Breaking up.
knew very
Yeah,
well.
Jeroen
I
starts
could
glitching when he gets to
hang
the most
out,
exciting
smoke
part
a
of the
joint once
share.
in a while, or twice, watch TV. So am I better now?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
went out and back in now.
Okay, so where when did I start breaking up?
Just repeat the last sentence that you said. That was all.
So the first option, the take it easy, chill out, I already knew the what I would get. I would have a chilled life. Maybe I could get some benefits like a disability benefits, and just chill out, have beers, smoke a joint once in a while or twice in a while. And then there was this big unknown, and that was scary. Like, if I give it all I've got, I don't know if I will ever be able to walk again. I don't know whether I can ever make a living or anything really. I have no idea. So getting comfortable in that unknown, which is really threatening. Imagine being in a dark forest and just hearing sounds all around you. That's you have no idea, is it gonna eat me or not? So getting comfortable in that uncomfortable is a blessing. So I said, okay.
Absolutely, Jeroen. That's where I wanted to take this conversation next. So you bang on the bug there. Like,
So yeah,
uncomfortable, it can be a blessing. And that was what Judith was referring to as well, isn't it? It's like when you're out of all options, that's when creativity really hits. Like, you get to be totally creative with whatever
yeah,
you do have, or even if you have nothing, like what could you create from nothing?
yeah. That's when I told my dad on the phone one night. I said, we're riffing on life and my situation. So I go, hey Dad, this might be a blessing in disguise, because oftentimes I've told myself, if only I could start over again. Well, now I have to, but I get to start all over again. And just that was, yeah, the world opened. It's like I was drawing my life on an Etch-a-Sketch and I dropped it. Now one of the buttons broke off, but I didn't really like what I had on there. And so yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you, Jeroen, for sharing that so vulnerably. And really, well, Ketna is saying creativity dwells in energy like a phoenix rising from the ashes. So true. It does rise from the ashes, absolutely. And that being creative, You don't need anything there to create something. It's like the Genesis. When a Genesis happens, there is nothing before that. And then a Genesis happens and something is created. And which is what I was alluding to in my introduction as well. We are all, each human being is somebody who creates life. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are creating our next moment. In every moment, we are creating our life as we move forward and forward and forward. Right now, it being in this conversation, you are creating how the rest of your day is going to go, how the rest of your year is going to go. It's happening right now. And the moment you get present to, when you're in that dip, and I get to create my life, and I get to create that, and I'm a creative person, what can I express in this darkness right now? Rather than, oh, I'm in this darkness and I'm stuck, all you have to do is like, okay, I'm in this darkness, I'm stuck. What could I share about this being in this place right now through whatever medium is the medium of my choice? So Jimmy, over to you. Can you share a little bit about that, like how you did that?
Yeah, so for me, it was like Jerome said, it was being open to new things. I lived my entire life thinking this is how things are supposed to be. This is what, being told what I'm supposed to do, and being told how I'm supposed to feel. And what's changed in the past couple of years is that I opened myself up to what's the possibility, what could happen if I, you know, happiness is, it comes from within, but for me, it comes from giving and from helping people. And in doing that, you know, no matter what I'm helping them with, for that moment, I'm out of myself. And I'm not thinking about me and my problems. And so, you know, the happiness starts to flow in, and it comes with a serenity. You know, I'm 50 years old and didn't know what serenity was until I was 49. And that, it's a very powerful experience once you know that. And so, yeah, for me, it's being open, like I started with. You know, 6 months ago, I had never painted anything big. And in the past 6 months, I've painted 4 murals. And people are coming to me, and I'm not going and looking for the work. They're coming to me, and I don't know these people. I don't know how they're finding me, but I'm open to trying new things every time. And I try something, it makes them happy, and then I go back to doing things with kids and helping bring joy into people's life, and it just kind of creates this loop of thing. And I wake up every morning, and before I do anything, I make a list of everything I'm grateful for, and I start my day with that, because you know, we've talked a lot about darkness, and we've talked a lot about light, and unfortunately, you have to have both. There's always going to be both, and so it's finding a balance and understanding that it will pass, and it means that whatever rut you're in will go away. Unfortunately, it also means that whatever high you're on, you know, it's eventually going to change. And so you just have to be willing to keep going and keep trying, and stay true to yourself and stay true to your purpose.
Amazing. Thank you, Jimmy. Great. Avni, how are we doing for time? I know you were showing me, but I couldn't see it. It was below the screen.
Oh, we're good with time. 1:30.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got time. We've got about another
Oh,
about 15
perfect.
minutes or
Great.
so. 15,
So I think we'll come to, all of you have heard enough of about all 3 of us. So let's get down to the questions that may be springing in your mind. I know I can see some very great questions in the chat. So let's start with what's there already, right? So confidence is so needed, and this is Ketna, to listen to your inner voice. What contributes to your confidence? Let me take that. Okay. So Ketna, have you ever seen a 2-year-old who is not confident?
Not really, actually.
No,
Oh,
like,
no.
we human beings, we are born confident. We are born awesome people. You're just born like that. It's not something that we have to get from somewhere or take from somewhere. No, that's who you are. You were born that way. And then stuff happens in your life and it gets in your way. And you start to tell yourself, oh, really? Oh, no, I'm not good enough. Or whatever version of that you have going on. And that's what gets on top of your confidence. So really, if you want to be your true self, you want to be confident, you got to start looking at what's in my way right now, what's on top of me. Let me take that away. Take it away, take it away, take it away. And there, what's left is you. You, in your truest form, is the most glorious creature that could ever be alive on this planet. And you must get that for yourself. And then you don't need confidence. You are that. Okay. Does that answer your question, Ketna?
Yes, it does. I was just trying to encourage the conversation, which is about really creativity, so much about untying the knots.
Yeah.
And each knot is a huge success, and it lessens your burden. Our entire conditioning and the way this crazy world works right now is that we are controlled because it's easier for the powers to be to control us through academia, media, popular culture, etc. And we don't even realize we're being controlled. So I think it'd be great to hear from all of you as to how in your everyday lives you stop this barrage of control infiltrating your private world so that you can keep the pure space sacred, so that you don't drown out the inner conversation with yourself.
Amazing question. Who wants to answer that?
Turn off your phone. I tell you something. I lost my phone in Spain, and actually it was found down the back of a sofa when they cleaned the apartment, and they sent it back. I did not have my phone for 3 weeks. Did it change me? I mean, to begin with, oh, I've lost my life. My whole life, you hear this, my whole life is on my phone. Everything is on my phone. And then suddenly it all started to melt away. And now, has it changed me? Yes, it has. I don't turn it on. And people say, oh, I've tried to contact you on the WhatsApp. I've been with you all on the WhatsApp, but only because I knew this was coming on. But the phone, turn it off. Just sometimes lose it for a day. Honestly, it changes your perspective. It really, really does. I can't explain how it's changed me. It's just relaxed me, it's calmed me down. Of course I've got my computer. Of course I've got my iPad. I can look things up and be in contact with emails, etc. But not having that phone to constantly look at and check and be into, honestly, turn it off. Have one day of the week where maybe you fast and turn off your phone.
Thank you, Cheryl. That's a golden nugget you should take away. Just turn off your phone. Oh God, my wife would love you. She has that conversation going on in the background all the time. Like, turn off your phone, switch it off, put it away. Oh God, it does work then.
Just carrying on from Cheryl quickly, even turning on the phone for 2 hours, turning off the phone 2 hours before one sleeps. I'm battling with that right now. I think I'm addicted to knowing what's going on in the world. And the only time I get to tune into Twitter and everything is when my working day finishes and I've got time at the end of the day, which is unfortunately around 10 p.m. And whenever I've been looking at the phone, looking at all my social media, unfortunately, I've noticed, I don't know if any of you have noticed, it impacts my sleep. I don't sleep that well. And this is an addiction that I have, which I am battling with right now, how to not look at the phone before I go to sleep.
Make
And how to prevent looking at it first thing in the morning.
Switch it off. It's
Yeah,
a
but I
simple-
want to know what's, yeah, so this is my weakness.
turn on your alarm, Kenneth. Make an alarm call.
yeah.
Alarm call at 10 o'clock, and the alarm call is saying, turn off your phone and turn off the Wi-Fi. So if your phone is by the bed, turn the data off, the Wi-Fi off, turn everything off, and then don't open it for at least 1 hour after you wake.
I
A
agree.
bit-
Just don't practice it, which is
Yeah, I think Ketna, what you're alluding to, it's something that we do cover in the Landmark Forum, is
Yeah.
what is in your way. It's like there is no dearth of knowledge. Everyone knows that you should not look at your phone or you should not eat that cake. And then we take that cake and put it in our mouth, and bloody, you couldn't even resist that cake. It's like, really, what is in your way of not being able to do everything that you know to do? And that's something you've got to go on a discovery and again work at it. And the moment you discover it, it's a blind spot. Something happened sometime in your life, and then you got this thing that, oh, I've got to do that. I've got to be in control. It all comes from probably something to do with scarcity. It's like, if you're in abundance and you trust everything that's going on around you, there is no need to be controlling. It's like whatever happens, happens for the bigger good. Just, I mean, the world is operating, everything is going on. We don't make the sun rise, we don't make it set. The world goes on. You were born and then you'll die, and the world will go on. Right? When you really look at the big nature of things, absolutely you're nothing. And of course, when you're nothing, you can be anything. But we have this illusion that we are in control. Oh, let me control this. Really? Just have a look. That's where, once you give up that, that desperation to be in control, because it's an illusion, then you will have the freedom to just be, and then be a word. But that's a discovery. Again, I'm giving you some piece of knowledge. It makes no difference, right? Let's get to another question. It's about medical conditions. Cheryl, you said this question depends on medical conditions as well, constant anxiety and panic.
Yeah, I'd like to just quickly, because I tried to get that person to join. Is somebody that suffered from the pandemic. I actually have personally known 3 people who have had mental breakdowns as a result of the pandemic and being in lockdown and being isolated with COVID, etc. And this couple of them have come through now, thank God. But one person is still having these anxiety and panic attacks, and nothing seems to be able to help. And how can I address this for this person? What advice? It's all very well saying, yes, you've been at the bottom and you will climb. But when somebody feels that every day is anxiety and panic, what can you give me as a nugget to take away for that person? I'm trying to connect with them in London somewhere.
Yeah, I would have something to say, but I want Jeroen or Jimmy to take that, and then I will add what I wanted to say. Guys, you're on mute, so if you are speaking, just take yourself off mute. Yeah.
So, okay. So the question was about, what about when you have a medical condition going on?
Yeah, when
Yes,
you
like an anxiety or
panic,
yeah.
anxiety inside, and and they say that the pills aren't working. They say,
Mm,
what? How do you?
the pills aren't working.
How can you address that?
Well, I'm a bit reluctant to answer that right away, because I do not mean to offend anyone or belittle anyone's suffering, like diminish people's suffering. But I also think it's we've got it the other way around. Like Rajesh alluded, there I go again. So we need, it's not that we need something to make anxiety go away. It's that we've added this thing called anxiety. And it's kept us alive during up until this moment, but we get stuck in our strategies. For me, that's anger sometimes, and so we're really simple like that, like rats in a cage. If it works, we keep pushing the same button. And if getting really anxious, making ourselves small and hiding away kept us safe from a danger, real or oftentimes imagined, we'll keep doing the same thing to our own detriment. And so, yeah, again, I'm not one to sort of say that psychopharmaceuticals are all or like ridicule that, or I understand that sometimes it's like a crutch, we need it, but if we keep walking with the crutch for the rest of our lives and we kid ourselves into believing that my leg is just no good, I'm nothing without my crutch, then I'm not saying it's not true, but what I'm saying is it will be true if we say it is.
Absolutely. That's the
And
golden nugget.
This is a golden nugget. I would love this person to be able to have a private conversation with you, because what you just said is so moving and so true. And I feel he would actually benefit by hearing that exactly what you said.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you, Jeroen.
I'll send you my email address, and we'll see if we can set something up.
Thank you very much, Jeroen.
Just to add to what Jeroen was saying is, like, there's the cause and the effect, is the chicken and egg story. Like the panic and the anxiety comes from what? It's some fear that we are nursing. It's some fear of something that's going to happen in the immediate future or far away, but it's grounded in fear. And the pharmaceutical, they treat the effect, not the cause. They're treating your actual, the anxiety.
Yes.
But what we really need to look at is the source of the anxiety. What are we getting anxious about? And an immediate thing would be to just get present, like, where am I right now? There's this mic in front of me, or there's this table. Just bringing into your present takes away that that fear, like, of something that's going to happen that's not there. It's like just an illusion. And secondly, then start looking at what happened in the past that's giving me this fear. A lot of people say, oh, I have the fear of the unknown. That's rubbish. You can't have fear of the unknown. Look back, like, what is it really that, how can you have fear of the unknown? It's just not possible. It's something you've read or seen, or a movie, or something that creates something that, oh, when somebody was going into the unknown, this happened. So there will always be something at the source of that fear. Like, just keep questioning. Deep down, there is something that they are fearing will happen. And the moment you get that, you'll get that is a story that you created, and you will have an opportunity to come out of that. And of course, somebody who's dealing with this can't do all of this by themselves. They need someone else to look at it, because most of the time, all of this is a blind spot. It's like here, you keep looking and you can't see anything. It's just someone needs to put a mirror there, bam, there it is. So again, Cheryl, I'm there as a resource as well. Feel free to reach out. Happy to have a conversation with the person concerned. And I can see we are just on 1:45 now, which is kind of the end of this session, right, Avni?
Yes, we are perfectly in time, but we could talk about this for hours.
I know.
My God.
It's like,
Doesn't everybody agree how powerful this conversation is? It's so profound.
wow,
There's
amazing.
so many, oh my God, aha moments, so many nuggets. Does everybody want to share what they're taking away so far? What are the key takeaways
Yes.
from this conversation, from any of the conversations they've heard today? What's one thing that's really stuck with you? Okay, while you're doing that, I just want to read out what Lisa wrote. She said, "Hi, everybody. I can relate to you both." She's talking about Jimmy and Jeroen. I was diagnosed with breast cancer 2018 and fighting ever since. Art and paint has given me a new outlook and a new identity. I was introduced to art during chemotherapy as I was asked if I would try art therapy. Wow, the impact art has given me and my whole headspace has been beyond. I don't know what my future holds, but painting has given me an opportunity to give back to other breast cancer patients. I have a new love, new light, and new hope. Wow, that's beautiful, Lisa.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
And I love the fact that one thing I'm taking away is how you, as well as lots of other people I've heard today, how you're turning your pain into power.
It's the power of paint. I don't know whether you can hear me or not.
We
I hear
can.
you. Yeah.
The power of paint before breast cancer, it was something that I might do with my children, but I hadn't done anything since I was at school. And when they actually asked me whether I would like to do this art therapy and what the benefits would be, I almost laughed it off. That, you know, I had no comprehension of what it can actually do for me mentally, emotionally, visionary. And I've been painting ever since. I've actually, as well as you were talking about self-discovery through art and art with others, you know, I absolutely love giving back and helping other women going through trauma, facing death in the face, to find ways of being mindful and being accepting the diagnosis and being able to enjoy time out just for themselves. I absolutely love it. And I know this sounds weird, really weird, but I'm kind of grateful for what's happened to me. Because before then, I wasn't really living with my eyes open. I know that probably sounds really, really weird, but I've learned so much about myself, like the guys were saying, and helping other people, giving back. And who knew I could even paint? You know, I look at a painting that I do, and then afterwards it's like, I've just done that. I've just painted that. But it takes me to another zone. It takes me to another level of my, almost like an out-of-body experience once I'm painting. And I feel that I have a gift now, which I never felt I had before. Whatever's going to happen with my diagnosis, or, you know, I've done everything in my power to fight the cancer, but I have been given a gift that I want to share. Thank
Too
you.
good. Too good.
Thank you.
That's really
Beautiful.
amazing. I just wanted to say one more thing that would probably offer something, is that there is a world in here, in this, inside the head, and then there is the world out there. And they are distinct.
Yeah.
Anxiety, depression, or fear, all of this, all of these disempowering conversations, they're lying here inside. And just one thing that you can do is get out of your head, get into the real world. With somebody, share with someone, just connect. The moment you're out there, there is no space for all that to coexist. You are out there. Like how many of you like really immersed in your art or your painting or your music, and there are moments when you disappear, you're not even there.
Yeah.
It's just like 2 hours went by. What the hell happened? You absolutely don't even remember yourself. That's the beauty. You disappear when you're out there, like really performing. So take
Yeah.
that on as the way to come out of this dark space. Okay, go on.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
Really want to acknowledge Jimmy and Jeroen for sharing so vulnerably. And Lisa, wow, your sharings made such a difference. Like, thank you. And thank you for being such amazing people and so great and really making a difference in the world. I love you guys.